I've been playing Forza Horizon 6. I'm Jeff Grubb from Giant Bomb. A few of us have been playing it over here. Mike has, but he's busy playing Donkey Kong 64 or something. Dan Record's been playing a little bit. Jerf, I know that you're curious about it at the very least. I am enjoying this game quite a bit, guys. It feels very refined. It is awesome that they're in Japan. That has created some cool new things where it's like they have Tokyo City where it's more dense than ever. We'll talk about all those things. I can't stop playing it. A big part of it is you can tell this is a team that has done this a bunch of times before, and they know what to turn up and they know what to turn down. So I'm at a point with Forza Horizon. This is a franchise that always does this. Hey, it's a big party, it's a big festival. Go get a bunch of cars, go do a bunch of fun exploration stuff, do a bunch of races of all different stripes, and just have a general good time. And we are going to throw you into that festival, and it's going to be about social media and all this stuff. Well, they turned that side of it down, which is something I thought I was kind of hoping they would do. They've realized that maybe the idea of the aspirational social media star is a little bit over. Definitely passe. And it's they instead kind of just make it about hanging out with your friends in Japan, which I do think is aspirational. That is a cool idea. And then they just make every thing that you could be doing in the game as streamlined, as sort of smart as possible. If you want to turn your brain off and do some fun car stuff, you press 2 buttons down on the D-pad to bring up their little assistant, and then right on the D-pad to be like, hey, what should I be doing next? Gives you 4 options, 2 of which will be recommended to like progress the story, which is unlocking these wristbands so you can unlock even more things to do. And I'll do that. I'll drive to the next thing. And then I turn my brain on once I'm in the race. And then at that point, I'm just like, all right, I'm activated because I'm like, now I'm really engaged. It's been great so far. Dan, you've been playing a little bit. How are you finding it?
Yeah, I mean, you're totally right about it, like turning down some of the more obnoxious elements. Because like I've always loved the Horizon series, but like there always has been kind of a like Burning Man festival, social media DJ vibe to the whole thing that definitely rubs me the wrong way. And this one, like you said it right, it is toned down quite a bit. And something that also in the past kind of bugged me was like, you'd pause and there's just like a bunch of different tabs with a bunch of different boxes.
Yes.
And that is still the case here, and it can seem overwhelming at a glance to look at all this stuff and tab through all these menu items. But really, at the end of the day, it's like it is very easy to just wherever you are in the game, open up a map, look around, and it's like, oh, there might be some like little mascot things or some XP signs to break. Okay, I can go over there, or I can drive to this big icon here and do whatever this is. You don't have to like worry about it too much. You can kind of just point out a thing on the map that you haven't done and be like, I'm gonna go see what this is. Oh, off-road race, great. Okay, oh, here's a little like a hidden barn thing I can find, great. It's almost I don't want to say Breath of the Wild, I feel like that's overused, but just the idea of like opening up an open world map and just I'm gonna go see what's over there. It looks like there's something there, and there usually is a fun race or something to do. And there's a bunch of bells and whistles. You're constantly getting cars and credits and wheel spins and stuff like that, but it just doesn't feel like you have to like go through a book or like an in-game manual or something to figure it out. You just kind of race around and do fun things.
Yeah, they have set it up so and they thought about it so that kind of no matter what way you're playing, you can find the joy there. And so yeah, I have been mostly shutting my brain off and letting the game take me from one race to the other, and then I'll get in the mood of being like, okay, I've been doing that for a while. I do want to do some exploring, and yeah, I'll go do one of these barn finds, or they have I think treasure finds. There's something slightly different this time where they give you an image. I didn't play Forza Horizon 5 a ton, so some of this stuff could have been in there. So I'm reviewing this as someone who's been in the series a bunch of times, but didn't necessarily play a ton of the last one. So I might be repeating some stuff that was in Forza Horizon 5. But the treasure finds are great in that you get these images of a building and a mountain in the background, and you're like, I think I recognize some of these these things in the land, and I can try to find those. And those are slightly different kinds of cars, and just kind of exploring the world on that side leads you into this situation where like suddenly like instead of sticking to the roads or following the GPS, now I'm taking the big 4x4 Forza Edition Subaru just through the woods, and this one has a bonus so that when I do destruction, I'm getting even more XP for this car than I would normally get. And the XP just unlocks like other bonuses that your car gets for unlocking more XP. It's not it doesn't matter a ton, and yet it's very fun and feels rewarding. And it just speaks to the refinement that is across the board in this game. Every single aspect of it is tuned to get out of its way and then to support you in the kind of fun that you're trying to have. And I really, and for me, it's like when it comes down to just racing in this game, it is so much fun to start it up and have all those assists turn on and play it like an arcade racer. And then like it's like, oh wait, it's still Forza underneath the hood. And I was like, okay, I'm having fun, but these races are a little bit easy. I'm going to turn off all of the assists that I possibly can, except for rewind. I need rewind because I'm still making mistakes a lot.
Yeah.
I'll turn off all the assists, and that increases the percentage of XP you're going to get from a race. And then I'll turn up the difficulty a little bit. And now it's like, oh, that very realistic physics system, the very realistic modeling of like the balance of a car is all still in there. So it's this dopey arcade racer that suddenly turns into something of a sim when you want it to, when you need it to. And if you don't, you never have to touch that stuff. But when you do, now it's like that big 4x4 Subaru that I had that has that crazy suspension. And it's like, it's fun to watch the suspension work. It's like, but now it's fun to like use the suspension in a race where I'm throwing the weight onto the front tires in a dirt racing track and watching those tires dig into the corner. And it's like, now I can make that turn because I'm shifting my weight appropriately, and the game will punish me if I don't do that right. But if I do it right, it feels phenomenal. And it's like, oh, the breadth of content here is obvious at a glance. The depth of the content, like you might forget about that, but it's still Forza, and matching those two things up in such a refined way is a little bit of a miracle. It's like, oh, no wonder these games just win everybody over.
Yeah, and like I love that you can engage with that if you want to, but like me, I don't know a fucking thing about cars.
Why would you turn?
I don't know anything about tweaking. I've never even once considered going in and tuning anything. So you can just go in there and race if you want to, or if you want to go in and tweak stuff. Like you said, it is still Forza. It's got all the like gearheads behind it that made this. Like, I mean, they look great, they feel great, and if you want to tweak them, you can. To give you a sense of how much I'm enjoying this game, just a few hours in, I started playing it. I was like, ooh, I really like this. So I assembled my wheel stand that has been in a box for like 4 years. I hooked up and updated my wheel, and I updated my BIOS to play this game. I had to figure out how to update a BIOS. I was a hacker this morning because I want to play this game without error messages every time. I'm just having a great time with this so far.
Yeah, so go ahead, please, Jerf.
What as someone who's played like all of these Horizon games, I felt like the last two really tested my kind of patience with sort of onboarding, and I didn't get to a place where I was actively trying to get back into it. Sort of lost me out of the gate. So I wonder, for someone like me who's had that kind of frictional sort of relationship with the game, what you talk about all the refinements and all of the sort of like trimming of the fat and all the nonsense, like how does that present in the most sort of apparent way where this 1.6 seems to have broken through that a little bit? How does that present in the most obvious way?
I do think a big part of it does come down to like the just sort of changing the conversation between the characters around why you're even there. And this idea of like gaining a social media following, all that stuff is scrapped. They kind of just make it about like, we know you're here to do some races. Let's do some races, and we're going to make sure we dole out the cool races right up front. And I think they also do a good job of the showcase races that Forza Horizon is a little bit known for, of the scripted cinematic things. There was a time in the series where it felt like that like you would get one of those every half an hour. They actually have scaled that back, but they made them bigger and even more mesmerizing than ever before. So like the first one now is going to be a race against what is essentially a Gundam. It's a giant mech called Chaser Zero. And then it's like, oh yeah, I'm in Japan, and they really just nailed that better than ever. And they use that to the strength of the game of like, there's even more obvious things to look around and want to explore. But when you get there, like if you see Tokyo City, you see that like, I should go check out Tokyo City just to see what it looks like. You're going to get there and it's like, oh, now there's more to this city than we've ever really had in a Forza Horizon before. It's got verticality. It's got just there's more going on than they've had. So I feel like it's a multifaceted. It is not just as simple as they have completely reworked the onboarding system, but I think they have simplified it, refined it in terms of like, let's get rid of the junk that was getting in your way. And then like once you get to the stuff that it's sending you to, there's more to do, and it's obviously more immediately fun.
And the location itself is so great too. Like you mentioned, there's a lot of like downtown Tokyo, almost like a midnight club-esque races in the middle of the city. But then there's so much surrounding like rice fields and things like that, and a lot of hills and mountainous areas and everything. Like a lot of variety that feels really cool. Because I feel like we've had a few of these now that have been in kind of that like dusty desert type. What was it, Australia? And what was the last one?
The last one was Mexico.
Mexico, yeah. Like I feel like this feels a bit different than the last couple in a refreshing way.
Yeah, the one before that was UK, and I like those. I think I like Mexico better than I liked UK, but this is definitely my favorite setting. They're like everyone want them to go to Japan, and they are taking advantage of everything that entails. So yeah, the sort of side roads, these almost hidden paths, and like sometimes you'll see them on the map, sometimes you won't, but you go explore those, and there's almost always something cool to find. And I just like whenever you're in the mood to sort of shift gears. Oh my God. When you when you want to like shift up what you're doing to kind of keep things interesting, the game is ready to meet you with that shift. And it'll be like, hey, yes, there's 5 other things to do. Here is the crazy taxi style delivery thing where it's like you're going to get a K truck and deliver meals, and you could do that. You could just do that over and over again. We'll keep letting you do that more and more, and it'll get harder and harder. And then when you're done, you stop, go get back in your supercar, and then go to the speed trap thing and see if you could set a really high score there. And you immediately get the leaderboards, and you could see where your friends are at, and you could see where you are in the world, and you could spend a half an hour trying to perfect your run there. Then you go back and you're like, okay, now I just want to do regular races. And it sends you over into, you just hit the buttons for the thing to say, hey, take me to a race. And it'll give you a couple options. Then you go over to the rally race, and you can use the rally car that you probably just unlocked from doing all this other stuff. Everything just feeds into itself so well here.
How would you say your sort of experience is with like your relationship with the cars themselves, right? Because I mean, I know Grubb, you're like casually into cars, right?
Yeah.
You have like a casual thing. I think you probably match like where I'm at, maybe, give or take. Because I always feel like I never was able to develop like this sort of relationship with like, oh, I want to, get this M4 like to a place where like it's mine. Like how is there that kind of ownership in a way that presents more in this game than previous ones?
Well, you are getting so many cars that I think that might still be a little bit of a problem, just because I think, well, I'll say that I think they do a good job of making or the feeling of unlocking cars feels a little bit more special here. Doing the wheel spins, which are those like slot machine things. Seems like they thought about that a little bit more. When I get to do those, they're exciting, as opposed to how I felt in Forza Horizon 4, at the very least, where it was like, all right, I'm just doing that, and it's almost meaningless. Now it feels like a little bit special, and they have the super wheel spins that they've made a little bit more rare. And you'll get those, and the super wheel spin is like basically 3 slot machines going at once. So it almost guarantees that, you're going to get some credits to buy cars, but one of those things is probably going to drop a new car that will just be added to your garage in that moment. It's easy to go to have that happen and almost forget immediately that happened. And then when you go back to your garage and you're looking at all your cars, it is important to I should sort by new so I could see the ones that I forgot that I just unlocked 15 minutes ago. What I've done is I have mostly ignored my giant library of cars, and I've picked a couple that I do consider to be the ones that I have the most fun with. And part of that is not necessarily some of it is oh man, I do like these K trucks. I unlocked a K truck. Here is a Mercedes van that I just want to mess around with. And then here are these Forza Edition trucks, or these trucks that have special modifiers on them, like that Subaru 4x4, which has the Wrecking Ball modifier. So when I'm doing destruction with it, it's like, okay, so if I want to go off-road and go the path of least, or the way the bird flies from one point to another to get there as quickly as possible, I might as well jump in that one, because it's really good at going off-road. It hits the jumps, and it does the kangaroo trick of bouncing from one to the other. And as I'm doing that, the number that goes up from the multiplier of doing these special tricks goes up even faster, and that feels real good. So that's sort of where I'm at with my relationship with the cars. It's I like the ones that make the game feel even more fun, and then they look cool, and then I might recognize them. There are a ton of cars in here though, so it's it is a little bit difficult to sort of feel ownership over just one.
Yeah, because I feel like I always, I love that they do like the not retro, but like the vintage sort of, there's like 80s and 90s. I know there's like
Yes.
some like 90s Porsches in there and stuff like that, which I think is really cool. Are there, I don't, was there ever an EV in any of these? Is
Yes,
there?
yeah,
Yeah.
yes, and yes, they have, and you can like sort the cars by there are all kinds of different categories. So if
Oh,
you want
that's
to like just
cool.
see the ones that are electric vehicles, they have like 90s electric vehicles, like it was the Honda Beat. I can't remember what it's like,
Okay.
an early Japanese electric vehicle.
That's
Like I
sick.
have that much. Yes, exactly. And it's like, oh, so what will happen, Jerf, is I will unlock one of those, and then I go look it up and look up its history, and I start reading
Yeah.
about it. So it's kind of feeding
'Cause-
back into like my interest in this stuff, which again, very casual, but I'm like, I'll
Totally.
Google it and I'll read a couple paragraphs about it.
Right, because the roster is so widespreading and so thorough, and it's like there is this. The thing I also enjoy out of these games is the kind of like museum quality of like, oh, I can look through, the sort of like dream car history that I've had over the years of like, wouldn't it be great to like drive one of these or something like that? I always want to make sure like there's some preservation of that intact with these things. So that's awesome.
There is a sort of another progression. So the progression with the wristbands of doing the races and kind of like, as I've been saying, like hitting down on the D-pad, right on the D-pad to have it send you to one of these next ones that it recommends you. That is going to lead you along the path of completing the game, unlocking these wristbands, which then unlock new areas. There is a whole other progression to the side of that called Stamps and Collection Journal. And this is a progression system that is based on the more gentle exploration of doing the barn finds, or finding sort of these photo locations, these things, these vistas, ones that are like, hey, I just want to go explore this world, treat it like a tourism simulator a little bit. And if you do that, it gives you this gentle progression as well, like unlocking these stamps, and that has its own sort of unlocks that go with it. And so again, it feels like, oh, they have considered all the different ways that people are playing this game. The games have sold so well that they know for a fact there are all kinds of different ways to play it, and they are serving up ways to enjoy that in a way that feels wholly complete. If you don't want to do anything else in the game, it's robust. It feels like, oh, I could have spent 15 hours just doing that stuff and never touching a race. So yeah, it just speaks to that concept here of this is a team that's done this a lot before, and they've thought about every way to have fun with it.
Awesome.
I have not gotten there yet, but there's also this Legend Island that you can unlock at the end of the game once you get all the wristbands unlocked. And this is like it sounds like a way to really explore the game if you want to be super thorough, and then go to a place where like all of the other people who have wringed every piece of content out of this game, where they're going to be hanging out. It sounds a little intimidating, but it's like, okay, they have an end game thing built in here as well. I don't know if I'm ever going to like finish this game. I think I'm on like the pace to do that, because again, I keep doing the next recommended race, but I feel like at any minute I'm going to get distracted and start doing something else, and I will be completely satisfied with that.
I think that's every Horizon for me. I think I've
Yes.
played them all. I like them all. I don't know if I've ever needed to like, certainly not 100%, but even like beat the quote unquote campaign or
Right,
story
see
mode
the
or
credits
whatever.
or something.
Yeah, I played it. It's just a nice game to always have there. And if it's like, if I ever get the hankering for like, oh, it's been a while since I played a good racer, it's like, yeah, I can pull the wheel out and just drive around a bit and have a good time. It's easy to hop in and hop out of, you know?
Yeah, then the multiplayer does feel as streamlined as it's ever been. I'm not so far in my playtime, I've not like begun a multiplayer session, but you're in the world with other people who are online at the same time. They usually show up as like the translucent ghost cars. And the way that really manifests is occasionally like one of these trick attack things will happen, where it's like, hey, there is going to be a meetup and everyone's going to be doing this who's in the area, who's online in this moment. Do you want to go join that? You press one button, you wait for it to start, you go to the place, and then suddenly you're actually playing the game online with other people. And then if you want to, you could party up with those people and then begin exploring the world together. But the game is going to like let you bounce naturally back and forth between playing at your own pace, and then if you want to press this one button when a world event is happening, like like Destiny or something, you can do that, and then it's very easy to just get back to where you already were and get right back to playing the game as you typically enjoy it. It's seamless. If it is another example of them knowing how to make a game like this and making sure that they get out of their way and just provide the fun stuff. And then there's the asynchronous multiplayer stuff, which I think I enjoy the most, of just setting times, setting speed limit records. I've done it in a couple places where I tried to get first in the world because there's not a lot of people playing right now. And that is so enjoyable. I think I don't know if I'm looking for this in there, like the idea of like, oh, I did just spend a half an hour setting a time there. Is there a way to like send this challenge to my friends? I haven't seen that necessarily. I would really appreciate something like that. Maybe it's in there because, again, as Dan said, there's this robust menu of all of these tiles, and it is overwhelming for me. So I kind of just like, I'll just go back in the car and start driving. But I don't know if it's in there.
Yeah, honestly, I've never seen Horizon as like, I'm going to really look into like this specific race or this time leaderboard stuff. I really like the fun implementation of like, okay, I'm catching up to Hanson or Mitch on like
that's
roads discovered or whatever.
Yes.
It's like just the little pop-ups that pop up like, okay, areas discovered. You see you and like one friend or something like that. I like that.
Yep. There's a new event type, Horizon Rush, which are these like obstacle course runs. I've done that. I've just done that once. It seems pretty good.
They're fun.
But they're fun. Exactly. It's I just think they have some new ideas, but the headline here is the refinement. It is getting out of its way. It is finding or knowing what the fun is and delivering that at every turn. And then Japan. They did not miss on the opportunity to do like right by Japan. Everyone being excited about the prospect of them eventually going to Japan and showing off Tokyo City and all this stuff, and having Mount Fuji out in the background and like looming over everything, and then driving up there and getting up in the snow and driving off of the cliff. All of that delivers on the promise. So yeah, I've been super impressed with it.
And you've been playing this for a while, right? I obviously Japan is like one of these countries that basically has like every geographical and sort of climate represented right within its borders. Like, you feel like that's well represented. You feel like there's no shortage of all that stuff.
Yeah, they always do a good job in the Horizon games of making sure that you have all these different biomes. But Japan, it's like it's very easy to understand those. Like everyone does know what Mount Fuji looks and feels like, and you know what their city, their neon drenched cities look like, and what the countryside looks like, and kind of learning the map really quickly of like where that stuff is. They do a fantastic job with that for sure. There is one thing that I haven't messed around a ton with. You get your player house, something I do think has been in the game before, but there's also a ton of like customization options where you can like add stuff and delete stuff and decorate it how you want. And you can have a player garage, which I do think is new. So you can have like all your cars on display. That's not usually my thing. But so I haven't messed around with it too much. So I can't super speak to how well that works. It seems like a nice to have, but not necessarily something that's going to like change people's opinion about Forza Horizon.
And to that point, like, I don't think there's anything really in this one that is going to, like, if Forza Horizon as a series has never really done it for you, this isn't like, they went back to the drawing board and this is the new Horizon. It's like, no, this is still Forza Horizon. It's just, I think this is more for people like, me and you, Grubb, and maybe Backler. Hopefully this will click with you. This is just like the best version of this I've played in a very long time. So, but yeah, it's not going to be the thing that's like, okay, this is totally different than the last couple. It's just better.
Yep.
So, all right, well, that's good to know. I feel like there was a bit of trepidation around, like, are they refining it into a place where this is like the best version of this game? But that being said, I feel like we've established like perhaps this is. What is there anything you don't like? Is there anything where you're like, I would have liked to seen some kind of different take or approach?
Maybe this is a skill issue, but like I do find that sometimes, especially I'm doing the wheel, and I find it's a little more difficult with the wheel. That like you'll be doing races and you'll hit one thing wrong, and then you'll hit Y to rewind. And it kind of like breaks up. That's just the nature of the rewind feature. But then it's like, okay, wait, I didn't rewind far enough. I hit the thing again or skid it out or whatever. And it's like I don't like it when I get into these races where I'm rewinding like 4 or 5 times in a row to try to hit a turn right. I feel like that kind of messes up the pacing and stuff like that. That said, it's better than not having the rewind feature. I don't want to like just totally blow a race and have to restart it every time. So it just kind of breaks up the pacing a bit, but that's the nature of the beast.
Yeah, and I like when I was trying to set those speed trap times or the highest average speed through a speed zone. You can rewind to like get back in front of the starting gate, and then once you drive through, it'll reactivate the starting gate. But some of these are like a half mile long, and so you'll have to hit the rewind button 5 times to get back there, or you could just drive around or come in from the other side. You could do that. I found myself wishing it would have a little bit more in terms of, can I just set a respawn point where I can just hit one button and restart this thing?
Like Skate.
Yeah, like Skate, exactly.
Mhm.
Just
Yeah,
give me
there's-
let me drop the Skate respawn thing, because that would be really handy, because this is what I'm doing right now. Can the game just sort of meet me where I'm at with that stuff? And then
Right.
I do sort of like the general progression, but I do find like there's occasionally where I'm like, I'm hitting a sign that says 1000 XP and I'm going, oh, awesome. And then my next thought is like, wait, what is that for? Like,
Yeah, or it's like there's that other currency, I guess, that I think gates like the wristband challenges and stuff like that, where it's like I think it's a green bar, and it's like, all right, I don't really know exactly how I'm getting that. I just have faith that like if I just keep doing stuff in this game,
Yes.
I'm gonna keep opening up the new stuff. It's
Yeah.
not like complicated.
Yes.
It is just a little like, oh, I can't
Nebulous.
tell what's doing what, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I'm just, yeah, and it's like, do I want there to be more meaning there? I guess I don't want them to mess up the flow of how I'm unlocking stuff, because I'm pretty happy with that. But as I'm like exploring this world, when I do get like the sort of bug to go run over some of these they have mascot, like, a bowl of ramen for this area. Like this region is represented by this cultural item from Japan. So go run into those, knock them over, and that you're unlocking stuff. And again, I'm like, I don't necessarily always know why I'm doing that, what that's getting me. I think what it's doing is getting me XP specifically for that car, and that does not make the car better. It just makes the car better at getting more XP, like I mentioned earlier. And that feels a little bit circuitous and not like the best like feeling in terms of like, oh, I'm working towards something. You can take your car to the garage in your home or the event center and then spend some money to unlock the car's abilities or put it into an entirely different class of car. So like, if you got the Mercedes van and it's a D tier car, meaning like it'll drive great with other D tier cars in those races. And there are some races that are for those cars. But let's say you want to ride it or drive it with some of the supercars. You could spend some money and upgrade it and reduce its weight. And you could just there's an automated button to be like, hey, just automatically do that. I don't want to make any decisions. I don't really want to think about these car parts too much. I just know I want it to be like this. You can do that, but that's where the car is actually made better or worse, and not in this XP system. So yeah, I think that's just a little bit nebulous and does not contribute the most to that feeling of like I'm getting something out of this progression. But that's been a conscious choice in that series for a long time now, and I've sort of made peace with it.
It just seems like a tough sort of nut to crack of like, how do you effectively like have those things be meaningful and have them present in kind of like convert that currency into like car upgrades. I think that is a challenging sort of issue that, I, like you said, I don't really feel like if they haven't figured it out by now, it's kind of what they've decided is like the least painful way to do it, right?
I bet they've considered all the alternatives, and I think you're right that they know that this is actually probably the right thing to do, and they're probably right. I think the last thought I would have here is just like there are times when it's just truly magical. Because it's arcadey and presents as arcadey, and then I'm playing these races for long enough, and I do begin to sort of get in tune with the physics of the game. And I am in a big fast car that's too fast for the track I'm doing. And I find the way to like, I'm not even like thinking about it. I'm sort of subconsciously like letting off the gas and hitting the brake at the same time. And I'm hitting the emergency brake so I can spin into a turn. And I'm pressing halfway down on the analog triggers to give it a little bit of gas and a little bit of brake at the same time. And I'm hitting the racing line perfectly. It just feels so awesome. It feels so good. And the game sort of can put you in that place. If you're someone who wants to play that game that way, it makes it very friendly to get to that place. Obviously, the rewind feature helps with that, where it's like, oh, I can like do this one turn 5 times in a row and really see what's required of me. But very quickly, you're going to get to a point where it's like, no, I'm just driving that way. And when I'm exploring the world and I want to be doing these really fast turns, or I want to do a 180, I kind of know the button presses required now. I know what this car needs for me in terms of giving it gas and brake so that it's not going to spin out. It's just actually going to stop and turn around, and I'm going to have like carry some speed into that 180 maneuver. It makes you feel fucking awesome. And it's the kind of thing where it's like the game goes from being very good to being great, and sort of like, oh, this is an experience you can lose yourself in, and that's what I'm doing right now. It is the right game for me in the right moment.
Is there just one other thing I was thinking about what you're talking about
Please.
with the garage stuff? Because I was just watching a little bit of gameplay, and you said that this is the first time they're doing like your garage where you can like customize.
I think it's the first time you can customize your garage. Yes,
Yeah.
That's my understanding. Again, like that's never been my thing, so I'm sure there's aspects of that from before. But yeah, you can like sort of spruce up your garage. Yeah.
Because coming into this, I was watching a little bit of preview footage that they put out where they were showcasing some of that. So is there a way that you can see other people's garages? Like, are you able to like a friend's like, can you explore that? Or because I always thought that like that would be such a cool mechanic of like, even if it was off game, right? Like where like you could give me a link and I could just like walk through your garage, even in like a browser or something like that. I always thought,
yeah, I don't know if it works exactly that way. I do know is the way that the one thing that they do with everything in this game, including the garage, is if someone makes something, they can upload it and you can download it yourself and just be like, make it your own. I don't think that fully is doing what you're suggesting there, where it's like, I want to go visit my friend's garage and just see what they did and have them maybe show it to me.
Because you could like move the furniture around and like put stuff on the walls and crap. Yeah.
Right. So, but if someone like spends a lot of time doing that and you think it's awesome, you can take it and make it your own. Just download it. That is possible. The garage, your home, kind of it exists in its own little instance. So whenever you drive away from your home, there's a loading screen as like you go to enter the shared world. So it's like it does feel like it's separate from everything else and isolated to your own game. So I don't think that they have some sort of like let's go view this together mode.
Yeah.
Okay. Real last thing. Dan's playing with the wheel, and that's cool. This game is made for an Xbox controller, though, and I just got the Steam controller, and the first game I played after getting that was this game with an Xbox controller because it has the rumble built into the triggers, and it we forget how important that is because what they do is they give you the information about how the car is meeting the ground, how the wheels are meeting the ground, and if they're spinning out, and if they're spinning out on one side, it'll give you the rum, 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 and you'll feel that in the trigger, so you know to like let off the trigger a little bit and ease into it.
The grip back, yeah.
Yes, to get the grip back and or to get the balance back. And I'll hit the brakes, I'll tap them so the vehicle flies forward, and now I could feel the car getting that grip back on those front tires because I'm getting that feedback. And I don't know, man, ever since we had analog controls, the idea of like pressing an analog trigger halfway down or pressing an analog stick halfway across just to give it a little bit of refined input was always very interesting to me. And it's like, oh yeah, that stuff is still happening in a game like this. And it always takes me a minute when I'm playing one of these where it's like I can feel myself just slamming on the gas or slamming on the brake because that's how I play so many racing games. And as I'm like realizing, it's like, oh wait, if I just slowly ease the gas into this turn, the weight is not going to get thrown back on those back wheels. I'm going to be able to have the balance carry through the turn and keep that grip. And because the game has so many ways of letting you know that's happening, it feels fantastic. There's and that stuff you don't even have to like consciously know it. It's just happening. I think that's one of the reasons so many people end up loving these games is they can feel that. And it's just, and you inherently get it without having to know that that's what's happening.
Cool. Yeah, I am. You've done it to me. You've gotten me excited. So thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be worth checking out at the very least. Yeah, especially just if you have any sort of affinity for Japan, they nail that stuff. So yeah, I'm really happy with it. Like I said, I have not seen credits, but that's not how I play these games. Sure. Even if I'm gonna write a review, I will make sure it's clear what I have played and what I haven't here. But I'll score it right now. I would give it 5 stars. I really, really love the game.
Nice. Oh yeah.
Yes. Cool. I think that's gonna do it for us. Any other final questions? Any final thoughts, Dan? Anything?
I'll probably be playing this off and on for the next year or two, I bet.
Yeah.
I'll keep the wheel assembled for this one.
Yeah, I definitely was. That is kind of what I ended up doing. Forza Horizon 5. I would just sort of like check in on it every couple of months and play for a couple hours when I needed to just chill out. And now it's like this. I'm definitely going to be doing that with. It definitely fulfills that. All right, that's Forza Horizon 6, boys. Thank you so much for talking with me about it. Thank you everybody for watching. We'll probably have even more coverage about it. We'll talk about it on the Bombcast. Let us know what you think about the game in the comments and all that stuff. We'll catch you next time, though. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.